Come on.
Welcome to Part of the Solution podcast, hosted by me, Natalie Damiano. Join me for a discussion on all things health, wellness, fitness, parenting, and more, all with a healthy dose of humor. Welcome, people. I'm here with Mary, and she's definitely been part of my solution of life.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We know.
We don't talk to each other very much like that. Just kidding. We do. We show a lot of appreciation for each other.
I really think we do.
Yeah.
And like we talked about last time, I think our friendship has grown and blossomed.
It's true.
So something we did touch on last time that I have to say again is how I knew you longer than you knew me.
Wait, first of all, you're saying that we didn't touch on last time. No one knows what you're even talking about.
True. Okay, so let's back this up. We did a podcast before and it was horrible and it sounded awful. So this is take two.
We had some sound issues.
Yeah. No, the conversation was great. In fact, I'm hoping that it can live up to the hype I created in my head about how great it was. So Mary and I used to live across the street from each other, and she would, quote, efficiently do things. And she would pull into her driveway, she'd back into her garage, shut the door, and then get out of the car. And so really, I just had a relationship with her husband and her kids because...
Like, just to clarify, I was like pushing the garage door button before I put the car in park.
Absolutely.
Just really clear about how efficient I was with my time.
Yeah. And I think maybe you just had no extra time in your life.
I got no extra time, girl.
Ever. Well, especially now.
No, I tend to think of it as the way that I choose to use my time. So I have tons of time in my life. People always say it to me like, oh my God, you got 4 kids, you got no time. Like, I got so much time. But how do I choose to use it?
Yeah.
Is really the big question. Yeah. I'm very intentional. The older I get, the more intentional I get with my time.
Yeah. I was just going to say the same thing. Like, you get to dial that in even more the older you get and the more things take priority and precedence over the other. And I mean, just think about how different you were when you had Reese versus now. You know, and how much you've grown or matured or changed your schedule and what's important. I mean, extremely different now.
I mean, I don't close the garage as fast.
I didn't know you then. Okay. So I would have no idea. Chad's the same person.
Yeah. My husband is always the mayor of the street that we live on.
Oh,
and he loves getting to know all of the neighbors.
That's a guy thing because Matt is the same way. And I was over at my neighbor's and she said something about her husband doing that. And I was like, oh, no shit. He does that too? Like, it must just be.
Which is so funny because actually I was just having a conversation with my mom about this with both of our husbands, with my dad and my husband.
Yeah.
4 of us were talking about how men just have such different friendships and what they consider friendships. And like the people on the street, like I'm sure that they do kind of consider them friends or whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't consider anyone a friend until you're like in my like tightest of the circle.
Yeah.
That takes a long time for me to build with.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of investment on both of our parts whenever I'm building a friendship. And
why do you think that is? Is that just how Mary has always been? Or
I think
did that come from like a conflict or an issue or a situation?
I do think that, no, I do think there's some just like inherentness of me that's just like, I really, really crave deeper relationships, which on the surface, that can sound really like, okay, Miss Intense, like chill out a little bit. But it's not that. It's that I want to be, I'm like an all in. I'm either all in or I'm all out.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm either going to get like fully invested in your life. And that doesn't mean anything like, again, this can feel so intense. It's not intense. It means like I care enough to pay attention to what you have going on, to hold you accountable for things and to ask and seek your advice. Like that to me is a real relationship.
Absolutely.
Anything else, this is going to sound so, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I don't have time
for it. I don't want to. And I think for me too, I've got my solid group of friends from junior high and high school.
Yeah.
But then I have another group of friends where that is the type of relationship I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Is not somebody who's going to be like, yeah, that really sucks. Anyways, you know, like I want someone who's going to be like, here's a solution. Here's what you should try to do. Let me push you a little bit, you know, like for instance, this morning and going to the gym, or, you know, the conversation that was had last night while I was
Okay, can we
sleeping.
just break down? Can we just break down what happened? So Natalie and I, this was our 5th Friday working out together in the morning with the most kick-ass trainer ever. Okay, so Natalie got us going 5 weeks ago. Last night, one of the other girls that we work out with had to bail at the last minute. So I texted Natalie and I'm like, hey, did you see that text message? Because we kind of like, you kind of can't go if no one's going. It's like this weird situation, but we've gone every Friday for 5 Fridays. Okay, so Natalie's not responding to me like for all of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I guess we're canceling
Yeah.
tomorrow. And I even said to my husband, I was like, oh, bummer, the girls just bailed. And he's like, oh, well, can't you just go? And I'm like, well, no, it's kind of a weird, like, it's not a one-on-one trainer.
Yeah.
I mean, he can be, but
You fully could just go by yourself.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't about to. I wasn't about to. And so then I was sitting there thinking, like, definitely in my head, I was playing the game of like, it's getting pretty late. If
Yeah.
I just call it right now, then I can get out of my
You're off the
workout
hook.
in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't even want out of my workout, but my like inner demons want out of my workout. I then go to bed kind of knowing what I'm going to wake up to. And I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning anyway, but kind of knowing what I wake up to. And sure enough, I wake up to a hammer of Natalie saying, basically, like, there wasn't a question. She didn't ask me if I was still going to go. She just said, I'll see you at 6.
Yeah.
And responded.
Mary and I are in.
Yeah, and responded to the trainer. Mary and I are in. And I was like, she gave me 0 excuses.
Yeah.
I had nothing. I had nothing.
I spoke on our behalf. I'm like a controlling boyfriend. She will have the chicken. Thank you.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, girl,
Mhm.
I needed that.
And that was by far the best workout. Those sled pulls,
Killed me today.
yeah, were so
But, like,
great.
in the
Yeah.
best way possible.
Yeah, yeah.
All I could think the whole time was like, I almost missed this.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that to myself so many times. I've sacrificed my own like long-term happiness for the short term.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I almost missed this.
Yeah.
I can't believe I almost missed this. And thank God Natalie was never going to let me miss this.
No. And I think too, and shout out to Joey, because he's, it's crazy. Joey at DBC, he's awesome. When you go through like a traumatic workout like that, or something that just really pushes you,
It was
those
traumatic.
sled pulls and then the sprinting, it was hard. And I think it just bonds you. You're like, we just went through this crazy, insane. That's why, like, I think gyms like your old gym or CrossFit, like, they do so well because it's this really difficult thing that you do as a community, and then you feel part of because you're all dying at the end of it.
Yeah.
But it's like,
And you just feel
such a
so
good death.
good.
Yeah, you just
so
get that
good.
dopamine hit and everything feels great. And you just know, like, my day is going to be better and I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
And that's what this morning, that's why I have to work out at 5 or 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, I know I will have a better day if I work out.
It's so true. But
100%.
but the difference between you and I is that you just trust in that and make it happen. And I love to find an excuse. I mean, I want to do it. I love the end result, but like, I'd be the first one that's like, oh shoot, we can't go. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
just
I'm mad.
so flexible.
I'm so flexible.
Yeah.
But I really, it was just like really hitting me that like, God, I hope everybody has a Natalie when they're trying to do something in their lives that like, I'll make excuses for myself, but Natalie does not give 2 shits about my excuses.
Yeah. And that's only with certain things. There's other things I will make excuses.
Yeah. But I mean, but right now, like
100%.
I need to get, I'm post 4 babies, 4 C-sections, weight that I get. I need no excuses in this category of my life right now.
Yeah.
And I'm all in for a good, everyone needs to take their time or whatever. But like right now in my life, there's no excuses for what I'm putting in my body and how I'm treating my body.
Yeah.
Period,
Yeah.
And
and
I was like, everyone needs a Natalie.
Well, but we do, like, everybody needs a motivator, a reason to want to be better, something. And I enjoy being that. I like being that for people because I get just as much from it as you do. So it is a selfish thing too for me. Like, I like pushing people. I like helping people. And that's just in my DNA.
Mm-hmm.
I'll push and push and push. And like, even with Joey, he will push you physically and then encourage you so much at the end. Like, I was dying on the ground and he came up to me and was like, you did so fucking good.
Yeah.
Like you are so strong. You're doing so good. And that's all, that's just that little validation that I need to be like, all right, I'll see you next week.
Yep.
And I'm going to keep
He
on
did that
going.
for me too today when I was like just about to die. Like I felt like I was on the brink of death. And,
Yeah.
and he did that. And I was like, thank you. I do have a little bit more. I
Yeah.
did more.
No. And we all need that. Everybody
No, I
needs
need it.
that, like, pat.
Yeah.
Like
and
keep going,
it
keep
meant
pushing.
so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and he really knows what to do. He knows the body, he knows the mechanics and the functions, and he can walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah.
And
Is he sponsoring this episode? Just out of
I don't
curiosity.
know. Yeah, I know. Seriously, let's stop talking about Joey. He's
No, I love the way he does it. He's
but
just
we
great.
need those people.
We do.
Like you were that for somebody else when it comes to business and coaching and mentoring, and you've been that to me. Whereas I could be that to somebody for fitness or personal development or eyebrows or whatever.
Yeah.
Joey could be that for wearing your clothes at the gym and and teaching people body mechanics and how to connect the mind and the body and be stronger outside and inside. And
Yeah, it's so
so,
true. It's so important.
yeah, we just need to get like a nutritionist on board.
Yeah.
And then we're just the dream team.
Humming.
Yeah, the dream team. So anyways, I wanted to bring Mary on the podcast because she is a dear friend. She's an entrepreneur. She is a boss bitch.
Thanks, girl.
Okay. She is a mother. She's a wife. And boy, is she a mother. Like you heard her say earlier, she's had 4 babies. They're beautiful and amazing. They were over here a few weeks ago and it was so fun. And somebody that I truly look up to, somebody I truly, truly look up to for more reasons than one. So
That's very sweet.
thank you for coming.
I
Thank
do
you
have
for
like an
being
inch or
here.
2 on you. I think that might help.
You what?
I have an inch or 2 on you.
Yeah,
So you literally have to look up to me.
I mean, I'm 5 foot.
And I'm 5'4".
It's not yet. She just piped down. No, I'm just kidding. And so Mary, tell me and tell the audience a little bit about who you are, what you do, and what your new business venture is, because that's kind of really what I want. That I feel like is our biggest connection now at this point.
Totally.
I
mean, who I am is I feel like, and I feel like this is true for everybody. Like it's so complicated in a good way. Like there's so many things that make me who I am.
Yeah.
I am a wife, I am a mom, but I'm really like a woman who is after trying to help other women get unstuck in their lives and find their greatest potential. So that is my if you had to do like title, like sure, my biggest job is raising my 4 kids and I take that very seriously, but I want to help people feel like they're living their best lives. Like I feel like I see so many people who are, when I say stuck, just like knowing that there's something more for you in your life and whether you're in a tough relationship or you don't love your job or you're still battling things with your parents or whatever it may be, that I just feel like that's not what life's about. And in the sense that we all do face that, they're really important, but that is not where it ends.
Yeah.
Like, that is not your story.
Yeah.
Your story is figuring out how to move past that. And I really feel like I'm literally here to help people move past that and find their peace, their joy,
Their inner peace.
Yeah. Their happiness in their life. So I am in the process of launching this Mary method. And the reason I'm calling it the Mary method is because I feel like life can be done so differently, right? Like people can eat different things and have them react different ways. They can work out different ways and have your body react different ways. You can be married 5 times and have a really successful 6th marriage, or you can get married when you're 20 and be married to the love of your life there's all these different ways to do life. And so the reason I wanted to name my idea was that, or my method was that this is just my experience. These are the tips and the tools that I want to share with people because they've worked really well for me. And I want to help other women find that. But it doesn't mean that is the sure fix for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think I hope that kind of like frees people from feeling like, oh, I'm seeing something on Instagram and she's trying this new diet or this new drug or this new whatever it is. That's not going to work for everybody, but it might work for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a little bit of trial and error in life, but I do feel like I am doing things pretty well in life at this point. As cocky as that may sound, and the point is not to sound cocky, the point is to say, I figured out some things.
Yeah.
And I want other people to find that peace.
Yeah. So let's unpack that a little bit. What are the things? Like what could be something that the audience could take away, like little tangible tips or little things? Like what is the meat and potatoes of your program without giving it all away?
Yeah, no. And I want to give it all away. I mean, I want people to understand it, but I do feel like it's going to be tweaking for every person. But how I prioritize my time, I share that a lot. How I prioritize not just my day to day, but what I look for the next 6 months and the next year and the next 10 years, and how I then prioritize what that needs to look like. How I do self-care. I think that is so important. Yesterday, I dropped my kids off. I had to go show a house real quick. And then I got my butt on the table and had a facial because taking care of me first is what makes everyone else happy.
That's why you're glowing.
My skin is literally glowing today.
Yeah.
But I do not miss the things that make me feel good. So I do a monthly facial, and like a monthly facial is not something everyone needs to do. Maybe you can't afford it. Maybe it's not something your skin needs. That's not the point. The point is, let's figure out together what your thing is, what you need, and then let's make sure you do that all the time.
Yeah. I need the gym and I need massages.
There you go. So like those are your things.
Yeah.
Maybe you're somebody who loves to run. I don't like to run, but are you not running because you're bogged down with all the things you have going on with your kids' schedules and your work schedule? Okay, if you don't prioritize that, you're going to sink.
Yeah.
Period.
I think there's a lot of women who lose themselves in becoming a wife and a mother, and then that's all they identify with.
Yes.
And they really struggle, especially when kids leave the home. Then they don't know what else to do, and they stop growing and maturing back when they had that child.
Yeah.
And so I think that program, I think it's for all markets, but I think that there would be something big there as well.
Funny you say that. I was just talking with a mom who's really having a hard time letting go, I say in quotes, of her adult daughter. She wants to just kind of still run her life, and she doesn't like how her adult daughter is necessarily running her life. And she's not running her life badly. It's just not what the mom would choose.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what I do talk about in the Mary method is like, what part are you playing in someone's life? And why are you making yourself part of their equation? Because you don't need to be part of their equation at all, even as a parent. I know that can be really hard to swallow, but even as an adult, as a parent of an adult child, your job is really just to support and encourage and answer questions if they have them. And I really think that's where it needs to stop.
Yeah.
I think that there is some element that we want we all say we want the best for our child, but this is their journey.
Yeah.
This is their life.
Yeah.
And they are going to make mistakes. I made so many mistakes in my life. That's the point.
Yeah. We can't just find a host and then infect them with who we are, how we are, and then expect them to thrive. I agree with you. Not that we are promoting like a hands-off approach to parenting, but just a guidance, not let me dictate your whole life, because we're not in control of other people. But you're right. There's probably a lot of people who get stuck in that, but I'm the parent.
And that's your identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree. My identity is not just Natalie, the mother of these two children.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that. And that has never been an option. And maybe there are parents out there that would be like, wow, you're disconnected from your children.
It's not that though.
But yeah, I don't feel that. I'm very connected with my kids.
Connected with my kids.
Yeah.
I want so much for my children that has nothing to do with my life and what it looks like for me in the mirror. And this is their life. And I think the biggest struggle I have as a parent today is figuring out how to encourage my kids to mess up. If you think about children these days who are raised in a really loving, supportive, happy, healthy home, how do you have them make those good mistakes that are going to be great for them to learn?
We touched on that last time. Yeah. How do we screw this up for them a little bit so that they have to figure out how to do it on their own and be independent and be strong and and know that they can be resilient and that they can fix things and that it's going to be okay.
Totally. And I think if you're from a family that had some struggle, and it could have really big struggle or just tiny struggle, but it's actually really, really good for the kids.
Yeah.
And then I look at the home that we're raising our children in. Here they've got like these two kind of entrepreneurial parents who are giving back to the community and home every night for dinner and coaching all of their teams. And I'm like, is this too much stability?
It's too much.
Is this too much stability for my kids? I mean, and honestly, I'm like, yes, I think that
one of us needs to become an alcoholic. Okay.
someone is going to need to fall apart.
Yeah. Somebody needs to have a breakdown every once in a while.
But yeah, I mean, that's my concern right now as a parent is what are they rising above?
I completely feel that, because that is what I worry about all the time, because as you know, I came from chaos and no stability and nothing, a little bit, but not ideal at all. And my kids have it pretty sweet, pretty cherry. I mean, they do chores, they get in trouble, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
but like,
not the kind of child that you had.
And so how do we instill the behavior? I'm scared they're going to be entitled or, and that is probably the problem our whole generation is going to face, because we're so overly aware of how it was for us. And we don't want our kids to do that. But like you were saying, I'm actually really happy with my life and where I'm at, and same for you. And
so silver lining.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to find the silver lining, is that I do believe that we've never seen a generation be raised in healthy, supportive, aware lifestyles, right?
Yeah.
So there's some element of me that's like, what could our kids do?
Yeah.
What could they do if they didn't have a crap ton of childhood trauma? They're all going to have a little bit of childhood trauma.
Sure.
Right? Things from their childhood that they don't love. But
yeah.
I mean, you have gone through the ringer in your childhood. Can you imagine not like where would you be?
Who knows? I mean,
seriously.
Yeah.
So I am like, what could they do? And God, I don't want them to go be president or anything, because that sounds horrible. But
I don't want a politician.
What could they do in the world if they didn't have a bunch of stuff to heal?
Yeah. God, what good could they do?
So, but that's the point.
Yeah.
Right? How do we keep them on course for good?
Yeah.
And not becoming entitled and just...
I think for me, what I feel like what is important is that Matt and I are always a united front, and it's us first. And as long as we're healthy and we set boundaries and we respect each other, and I feel like our kids see that all the time, that is going to help lay the foundation.
Yeah, you're winning.
Of what we want our kids to be. And that being said, there's always going to be one bad apple or one that has a harder time than the other ones, or, however it goes. But I think if the foundation is strong and respect is there, and just the thought of, like, for me, I'm always leave it better than you found it. How can I improve? How can I give away what I have? What service can I do for somebody else? That is always kind of my destination and what I want. And so I'm hoping if I put that in my kids' minds all the time for while they're under my roof, that they're going to take in some of those.
Yeah.
And they'll take what they want and leave the rest. And they're going to pick up other things along the way, right? We all get influenced by other people, and hopefully the majority of it is good.
I know. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We're all just winging it. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the best that I can.
Yeah.
And hoping for the best.
Yeah.
So
you're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
You're doing great too, girl.
You're doing great.
So, okay. So that is your Mary method in a nutshell. And how are you offering this to people?
So I'm going to be launching a podcast. That's in the works right now. Mm-hmm. I'm taking after your guide.
I'm an influencer. What can I say?
Influencer. And I am going to be putting out some digital courses too for people so they can, I don't know, maybe you can't listen to a podcast, or maybe you just need something else to consume in the middle of the night when you're stressed about where your life's at. And so I just want to be able to people to be able to grab and
Yeah, it's
look
like a
at.
bite-sized thing,
Yeah,
right?
just a little
Yeah.
bite-sized thing.
Yeah.
Do you need help organizing your life or prioritizing your schedule or finding your me time or I'm a big boundaries girl.
Yeah.
I'm a big boundaries girl.
Yeah.
Boundaries are the key to peace in life.
Yeah.
So I'm a big boundaries person.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to me a little bit about
I think boundaries are so
like your journey
wonderful.
with boundaries. Has it always been one way? Has there been situations where you're like, I
mean,
need to
Of course, it's evolved over time, but I have also felt very, I've always felt very set in my ways about what things need to, gosh, how do you even say this? What needs to happen to make sure that I am good?
Yeah.
I've always been very good with that. I'm pretty clear, direct communicator. And so that has just been something that has been very important to me. So that can look like um, family is a
Yeah.
big boundaries thing, I feel like.
Yeah.
And they don't, boundaries, I feel like, have kind of gotten a negative connotation over the last couple of years because they're so like,
It's just overused.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to put up my wall and you're going to stay on that side and I'm going to stay on this side. And
Yeah.
it doesn't need to be like that.
Yeah.
What it really needs to be is about expressing or clearly communicating to somebody where you're at and that's where you are going to stay.
Yeah.
And if they want to come to you, they're welcome.
Yeah.
But this is where you're at.
Yeah.
And I've had really good, really, really good experiences with boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you hold them honestly and comfortably, they're respected. And everyone does rise to the occasion of a boundary. And if they don't, I haven't had that happen very often. But to be honest with you, when I have, it felt also really freeing.
Yeah. Oh, I 100%
Like,
agree with you.
I feel like that this is our time to cut
Yeah,
ties.
for sure. And I think that can go up and down.
Yes.
You know, I've had relationships and boundaries where I let people in and then I push people out. And then,
Yes.
and I've had one relationship in particular where I drew a hard boundary years ago and I've stayed there. And it has
Yes.
been wonderful for our relationship. We still have a relationship. And I've fully embraced and accepted that this is our relationship and this is how it is. And that's not how everybody's relationship is with this person, but this is ours and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm really happy to say,
Yeah.
that I'm grateful for the relationship. But there's lots of boundaries, there's lots of topics and things we don't discuss or we don't inject our personal lives into each other.
Yeah.
And I think it's wonderful.
It's okay. Right?
I feel good about
We
it.
don't need to have the same relationship with everybody.
And we attach that as children. You know, I
Yes.
think we start attaching those expectations to people that we live with, our moms, dads, family.
Like love is
just
communicated
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Because you are that close. I think there's so much that I do with my Mary method is like figuring out where someone's at,
Mm-hmm.
accepting them for where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
and then choosing what you're going to do with it.
Yeah. Because you can't change anybody. You can change yourself,
Anybody.
your reaction. So let me say that again. You cannot change anybody. I've tried so fucking hard to change people. So hard. I mean, we're females. Every one of us has dated a guy, except maybe you, that you wanted to fix.
Oh no!
Or
Of
that
course I
you
did.
had
I
an
wanted to
issue.
fix.
Yeah. I was going to fix you. I'm going to be your mommy. I'm going to
Yep.
make it all better.
Make it
and
all
you're gonna
better.
See how amazing I am. Really, the flip side of that is self-serving. You know, like I'm going to do it because it's going to make me feel great.
Mhm.
It backfires every time. Now,
Never
I'm a firm
works.
believer that we need those relationships. And that's part of the growth and the evolution of your maturity in a relationship. But I think we've all been there and we've all grown from that. And I think it's a good foundation and just part of it.
I also think that there is that to what you just said about like just generally accepting. So pretend like boundaries is out the window. Don't worry about your own boundaries. How about just generally accepting where people are at?
Yeah.
Just accept who they are, where they are right now.
Yeah.
And let that like sink in for a second. They're not going to be somebody different. They're not going to call when they say they're going to call if they just never do that or whatever the case may be. why can't we as a society just accept people for who they are and where they're at?
Yeah.
We have not been trained to do that.
No.
And I think it's a big unlearning for us, and it's really challenging to do.
It is very, very challenging.
But I'll tell you,
Yeah.
you will move leaps and bounds in your life as soon as you can go walk into a room, see somebody who, see them where they're at, accept them for who they are, and move on.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the expectation we have of others.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would do this, so why don't they do that?
Mm-hmm.
I would say please and thank you. Why aren't they saying
Yeah.
please and thank
And
you?
let me tell you, because they have not had the same experiences as you. And so you have got to give them some grace.
Mhm.
Maybe no one told them to say please and thank you. Maybe no one cared enough at their home. I tell this to my kids all the time because my daughter gets up on her high horse, talk about entitled. Oh, so-and-so didn't say please and thank you. Honey, their mom's not home right now.
Yeah.
And she goes like white in the face. I'm like, their mom is literally not living at their home. Give her a break.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I just want you to understand though, we don't know what anyone else is going through.
Yeah. It's perspective.
Yeah.
And I think if you keep your expectations low, then you're never going to get hurt.
Girl.
You know what I mean? Like if you keep them, that doesn't mean like if I say, let's meet for 9 for coffee and I don't, and I flake week after week. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's if you keep your expectations low, then these people, it's not going to disappoint you. It's not going to sting. It's the pressure we put on ourselves. It's the standard we hold ourselves to, and we expect everybody else is going to meet us there.
No.
And they're just not. Perfect example, just piggybacking off what you said. I was raised by my dad. He chewed with his mouth open. He doesn't say please or thank you. He leaves the toilet seat up. Guaranteed he still does to this day. I had a boss back in the day when I was a dental assistant, and she pulled me aside and she said, I need you to say please and thank you to the patients that we're seeing. Open your mouth, please. Close your mouth, please. Or thank you, or this or that. And it just clicked. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And I never realized.
Why would you?
And then it shifts the dynamic. Instead of me saying open, can you open, please? I'm asking them. I'm not commanding them or telling them what to do. So it shifts the whole conversation.
Yeah.
It shifts the whole vibe.
And maybe some of them thought like, gosh, that chick is a little rough around the edges. And you're like, I literally never had anyone tell me to do that.
No, you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
And so, and I think that's part of being a parent is teaching exactly what you said to your daughter and just saying, I say that to my kids a lot because the rule in our house is if Christmas, birthdays, whatever, whenever you get an abundance of presents, you need to go through your room and donate as many presents as you got. So if you got 10 things for Christmas, we're getting rid of 10 things.
Oh,
and we're donating them.
That's a good one.
I know. I can't claim that I came up with it.
Wow.
I don't really know where it came from, but that's the rule in our house. And I'm reminding them that there's other kids that don't have as much as you.
Yep.
You have a lot, and we want other people to feel just as special as we feel.
Yeah.
So let's try to give these things away so that they can feel better about it.
Yeah.
Or feel better about what they don't have. Or, just whatever. Let's give back. I think that's
a great rule.
Yeah, I love the rule. Plus, it keeps my room clean. Again, self-serving.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so that
clutter out of here.
Yeah. Who has time for that? I certainly don't. Or my anxiety level does not have any space for that. So no, that's just been a rule. And I think that we could all use that in our own life.
It's a great one.
Our own day to day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the new Mary that you spoke on this morning when I asked you if you wanted a coffee. And you said,
oh yeah.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
So
nope.
What's your plan? What's that motivation? Where are you at mentally? Why did you say that to me?
Okay. So stay with me here. I've always been very athletic, like as a young child. I was never a teeny tiny girl, but I was never like big by any means, but I was just never I was never a zero.
Yeah.
Like that was just never, but I was very athletic. So I had like an athletic body. I can hold muscle really well. Okay, so that works going all the way in basically until you start having babies.
Yeah.
And then your body goes upside down and you're like, what the fuck happened to my body?
Yeah.
It's okay. I actually have the weirdest thing. I have I swear it's like, what do you have, like body dysmorphia when you when you're skinny, but you think you're fat. I have the other way around. I think that I'm so teeny tiny. And then I look at a picture and I'm like, who is that girl? What is happening right now? Or, I'll grab like a pair of jeans that like fit pre-baby. And I'm like, I don't understand why these aren't fitting. This is so bizarre.
Yeah, this is so weird.
So it's not so much a lack of confidence. I'm fine, but I literally have gotten to a point now. So I just turned 43. I am post four pregnancy.
Hence why you can no longer
Can't talk.
Yes.
Can't think.
By the way, your brain just goes mushy after you have a baby, and it never comes back.
But also 4 C-sections, which were actually wonderful, but it does adjust like the positioning of your body, literally.
My hips are wider and my back is fatter. 100% hands down.
Yeah.
Your body just shifts. And you have to realize you're literally growing human beings inside of your body.
So, but here's the thing, and we were talking about this earlier. I give myself a lot of like free passes. I'm all in for I'm like, girl, I had 4 babies. Of course I should be bigger. This is pre-married a little bit ago. I'm like,
yes, let's put that burrito.
I have gotten to this point on purpose in a sense. Like I had to have these. Okay, but here's the thing. My babies are not in my tummy anymore.
Yeah.
Like we got to move on.
Yeah. How old is your youngest?
My youngest just turned 2.
Okay.
So so that's fine. But like, I don't want that. I want to be healthy. I want to be back. I'm actually not trying to get to a size 0 or 2. I just want to get back to my athletic body.
Yeah.
I want to get my muscle back. I want to get the fat that's on my body gone.
Yeah. You want to feel good and healthy.
I just want to feel good and healthy.
Yeah.
And I know that I can do it, but it's going to take some time. And I was thinking like my oldest is going to be 9 this year. And I was starting to, trying to have babies even longer than that. So like, let's call it 10 years. I have been working to this point that I'm at right now for 10 years.
Yeah.
So I am also the first one to give myself the space to go do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to take me 10 years to do this, but it's also not going to take me 10 weeks. No. This is going to be a journey for myself. And I know that like, I need to start slow. So what I did was 5 weeks ago, Natalie and I started working out. Okay. So now every Friday morning, I am now in a rhythm, except for when spring break comes up, I'm going to be out of the rhythm, but I'm in my rhythm, right? And I'm like, okay, I have set aside the time, one thing at a time. That is like very much how I would say, if you've got changes to make in your life, just do one thing.
And that's part of your method.
Totally. Take on one thing that you can actually accomplish, feel good and successful, and then move on. Okay, so my 5 weeks is now up with that. I'm going to keep going with the workout. That's already now part of my life. And now I need to go into like calorie deficit mode. And I want to be really cautious when I say that, because I know there are people who have eating disorders and body dysmorphia issues. And this
is not that.
This is not that.
Yeah.
Calorie deficit is just in the sense that I need to consume less calories than I'm currently burning.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. And I am we were talking about this too. I'm a big rewards girl. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys had such a great week. I'm going to take you for a scoop of ice cream. I'm going to get an ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't fit into my calorie count any longer, unless that's all I'm going to have for the day.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I also very much believe in healthy eating. So I'm choosing my food very carefully to make sure that I'm in a calorie deficit.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already I planned my whole thing out. Once I hit a certain amount of weight that I've dropped, like my calorie count can go up just a touch.
Yeah.
Because when it's over, I don't want to have to fall off that cliff and all of a sudden go like, well, we're eating again.
No, it's definitely a lifestyle. As cheesy as that is,
a lifestyle.
It is 1,000% a lifestyle. And for me, I've learned and educated myself a little bit more on like macros and hormones and your blood pressure, or I'm sorry, your blood sugar.
Yes.
And I had a client, she's a nutritionist, and she said, never eat a naked carb. And that just stuck in my mind. Like, don't just eat a bag of chips.
So good.
Have protein. If you're going to have chips, fine.
Yeah.
But eat some chicken with it, or eat some protein with it, because then your blood sugar doesn't spike. And what happens then? You get high and then you plateau. Yeah. And then that's when the fuck it switch comes on and you're like, let's just keep eating.
Yeah.
And let's eat crap and make shitty choices. Like, that's literally where your mindset says, fuck you.
Yep.
Do whatever you want, girl, because you deserve it. Yep. That's when that comes in. And so not to steal what you were saying, but just that has been a big part of what I've learned as well, is just how to balance your blood sugar so that you can make consistently better choices throughout the day.
Yeah. So I'm starting right now with I'm just going to focus because I can control this on calorie deficit. And then take on my next thing of like, okay, now let's really get into like the nutrition of it. But if I go, that's just me. If I go hyper on something,
You'll fail. You'll
fail.
go good for a while and then you'll crash
because I want to plan it properly.
No, it's the long term. It's the long term. And like you were saying earlier, you know what to do. You're not stupid. You're not a dummy. You definitely know what to do. You know when you're eating that cake, it's probably not a good choice or whatever it may be. So you'll succeed. Mary succeeds in everything she does. Hello.
Stop. But this is like one of those things that, food is for me, food is very social. So that is a challenge. My mindset's in a different place now. So I'm not too worried about the social, but like that is such a big thing for me. And like, I'm not a big drinker, but I will have champagne with my friends. I'm just kind of over it.
Yeah.
So it's just,
I think the switch has been flipped for you.
Yeah.
I see it. Like just listening to you talk, I'm literally feeling the vibration of your words, and it's just shifted. It's altered a little bit. Like and that maybe too woo woo, but like
totally.
You could just tell when somebody's changed a little bit and reached a point where you're like, no, I'm not fucking with that anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with that. That doesn't serve me. And things may taste good, but that it's just a temporary
and it doesn't.
thing.
It doesn't. I am actually, I don't know if anybody can relate to this. I'm a bored eater, which is ironic.
Oh, a board. Okay.
Bored.
Yeah. I was
bored.
like charcuterie board?
Like
Me too.
I'm not hungry. Let's be real. I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
And what's ironic about it is that like, I'm actually really, really busy. Like you think like, what are you sitting around all the time? I'm not, but I'll just be like, oh, I'm hopping up to this. I'm just going to grab this snack that is totally like lacks all benefits of nutrition.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah. You don't need to be eating pirate booty at 2:30 in the afternoon while you're driving to show a house.
Not necessary.
I am the same way though. It's like once you leave the house, you're like, oh God, what if I get hungry? I need to, like what will happen? And instead of grabbing that, like maybe it's apple slices and a cheese stick or a bag of nuts or like I love protein shakes. Yeah. Maybe it's that and whatever, a carb or this or that. Like I too need to get better. I'm a snacker and I'm a bored eater. I don't like meals. I want to just like graze on things.
Yeah, I'd snack all day if I could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Which is not great.
It's not.
But that's how I am. And I realize I'm raising my daughter to be the same way because she's a snacker as well. So I need to kind of try to cut that off.
Yeah.
But it's this scarcity thing of like, well, what if I'm out and I'm hungry?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to die, like something horrible is going to happen.
You couldn't actually stop and grab something if necessary.
Yeah. And I know myself well enough. I'm not stopping at fast food.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm stopping and getting a cupcake or going to Crumble Cookie, like most likely it's going to be somewhere where I can grab a quick protein bar or, like I don't eat a lot of packaged foods like that, like I try to eat more whole foods, and that's just been ingrained in me in my journey of health. But same, it's this bored eating habit. So what are your dinners going to look like? Or what are you, I'm on a huge family. So how will that shift? Like, what will you do different tonight? Are you just not going to eat as much?
So I know, and this is like so on brand for me, like everybody's body is different, right? So some people need like a really good big meal for dinner. I do better with like an early small thing to eat for dinner and then and I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't need anything until breakfast. So lunch is my big salad.
Okay.
Protein and
is that your bigger meal?
Yeah.
You would
lunch
say?
Is my bigger meal.
Okay. Very European of you.
That's so European. I find it to be a much more successful day for me.
Yeah. Because you're going to be busy and you're going to work it off.
Nighttime is actually, but I mean, nighttime is also just like, it's so crazy that what ends up happening is I eat at like 7 or 8 o'clock, which is the worst for my body.
Yeah.
And again, we're all different, but for my body, it's like the worst. And I'm kind of going to bed full.
No, I don't like that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
And
I like to eat dinner at 6. I want to
Yeah.
eat earlier. Sometimes it's like 5:48 and we're eating dinner.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm an 80-year-old.
Yeah.
But my problem is I get the witching hour. Like my body, my
Yeah.
chemicals in my brain go, Natalie, you had dinner, you deserve a dessert.
So,
Dessert,
okay, did
chocolate.
you happen to see the special this past Monday night with Oprah about weight?
Mm-mm.
And it's so interesting. I won't go watch it.
Okay.
For sure. It's
Okay.
very interesting. She brought on a lot of professionals that leading experts in this industry, but they were talking about weight and how we are all so different when it comes to weight. And that for so many of us, she was actually like, I'm not even kidding around. Girl was like promoting the diet drugs right now. And
Like
but,
Ozempic. And
yeah, well, not Ozempic, because Ozempic is actually, it's so weird how Ozempic took off, because Ozempic is actually for diabetes.
Yeah.
And so if you do apparently go into the doctor and you're like, I want Ozempic, they're like, oh, okay, we'll give you there's 3 other names.
Gotcha.
But Ozempic has become like the parent name. It's like
Yeah.
Botox.
Yeah. Exactly.
So anyway, she is like a big proponent of it now, because she's saying her experiences, my brain can't shut off. Like, I am thinking about my next meal all the time.
Yeah.
I don't even need it, but I'm just like, we finished lunch. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do for dinner? What are we going to have for snack?
Yeah.
So it was really interesting. And she's gone on a diet drug. She didn't say which one. And it has quieted her brain.
Yeah.
And she is, I don't know if you've seen her recently. Girl looks good. And
Yeah.
she's like just about to turn 70. Like, she's never looked better.
Yeah.
And the point is of this, and because I don't know anything about diet drugs, but the point is everyone's different.
Mhm.
And you need to figure out what's going to work for you. And for some of the people that they're finding who have chronic obesity, it is so unhealthy for your body. It is so much better in that case to go grab that diet drug, get your brain to quiet, get your stomach to feel full,
Yeah.
and not eating all the time,
Yeah.
because that's so much more unhealthy for your body to hold all that weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
Well, we all need a little helping hand.
Yeah.
We all need a crutch sometimes.
Yeah.
Not everybody has to just bear down and get through it and go
Yeah.
through the hard part. Sometimes we do need something that's going to soften the blow a little bit, like a drug like that, or, whatever it may be, because doing that is huge. I think sugar, food are our first addictions.
Mhm.
Oprah is addicted to food.
Yeah.
It's just the same
Yeah.
hamster wheel obsession that an alcoholic goes through, or a drug addict goes through,
Yeah.
or anything. And you try to stop thinking about it, and boom, you're just thinking about it again before you realize it. And it's just this exhausting go round. And it's just this infinity circle, back and forth, back and forth. And that's the core root of the issue, I believe. I'm a doctor. That's the core root of the issue. And I think the drug, the mindset, the therapy, the exercise are all the tools that you use to fix the core root of the issue.
Yeah.
So I think good for her, whatever works, as long as it's not a long term. I'm not a believer in, I don't want to take something forever, because if I don't, then it's all going to fall apart.
Yeah. So it was interesting, because the doctors that she had on were saying that there are going to be some patients who, they had this darling girl on who's at like 11 years old. She was 300 pounds. They're like, likely for you, she literally has a brain imbalance on, like, she is never full.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So like for someone like you are likely going to be on this drug for the rest of your life, but that is for the health of your body.
Something up here. That's something different.
Yes. There's literally, but people have that. There are people that actually have a total imbalance. So, but then, like Oprah said, that she went off the drug, and when it comes up to the holidays, and she's like, I'm gonna go back on for just a minute, because this is a tough part for me.
It's hard. It's really hard to quit your addiction.
Yeah.
It's really hard to feel safe without that Band-Aid, or without that coat that keeps you safe and warm.
Yeah.
It's like a baby learning to walk.
What's so weird, so we don't have to talk about like diets for all of our lives, but what I think is so strange in this world is that so many people suffer from body issues, weight issues, whatever that may be.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how can you move on to that, your greatest self, if you're like struggling with that so much? But like, so many people are struggling with that.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah. I know, it's really, really sad. I think it's something that For females, oh, you almost just grow up having it.
Mhm.
Like it just somehow like infects you at some point. How, I'm not sure, or why. I guess
Mhm.
just maybe media or how we live our lives or how women hold themselves, expectations, society, right? It just
Yeah.
infects you with it. And I think no matter the shape or size, we all have a little bit of it. I don't know that many women who are like, this is me, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I stop eating when I'm full, I'm happy, and boom, boom, boom.
I want to meet that girl though.
Yeah, I know one of them.
Do you?
And yes. And I'm like, "Hon, you're just so interesting. You just stop eating when you're not hungry anymore."
So wait, let me get this. You
Yeah.
just stop eating.
Yeah, you're just like cool. Like you just can have one bite of cake. Fuck you. You know, like, get out of my house. No, they're a rare species.
Yeah.
They're very rare. We're definitely way more normal.
And
Way more
we're
normal.
so much more normal.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad topic to talk about because I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah.
And I think part of your program, no matter what they're coming to you for, whether it's business or just how to be a better mom or how to be a more fit human or have inner peace, how they get there is the same. And part of your programming can help somebody get to that.
Yeah. It's the more balanced lifestyle, which my studio was named Balance, my fitness studio, but I love and hate the word because I hate it because people assume you have to find perfect balance. That does not exist.
No.
The point to me of the wonderfulness of the word balance is that you're always trying to figure out how to get your life just in slightly better balance.
Yeah.
That your relationships are in good balance, that your health is in good balance, that your work is.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, as we all know, when one thing starts to go out of balance, the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
You cannot be miserable at your job and having a wonderful family home. I don't buy it for 1 second.
No.
You cannot have, your marriage is falling apart and you're performing properly at work. You just can't.
No.
Or, you can't have your parents fighting every day and you're doing great in school.
Mm-mm.
They don't, it affects everything else.
Yeah. It's
So
got to be
we're just
a
always trying to
harmonious
find
balance.
a little bit more
Yeah.
balance in our lives. Balance itself doesn't exist. That's not actually the ultimate goal
Mm-mm.
because life is fluid and you keep moving. But the idea is that we can find more and more balance in each of the different areas of our lives.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great way to put it. It's not black and white. And I
Yeah.
think we all want to keep growing and getting a little bit better, especially as females. We have just a need to grow and to be better and keep learning and keep growing and moving forward. And I think men are more relaxed and just kind of good with how things go. But for me personally, like I'm always curious, like, what if I do this? What if I try this? And it doesn't come from a place of not being satisfied. I'm super satisfied with my life. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah.
Like
That's not
yeah,
a
it
reflection
just
of
is
that.
like, but I'm just a person who likes to push myself just to see how far I can go.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't work, it is what it is because I don't attach to the outcome of it. If I try something and it failed or it didn't work out, whatever, what are you going to do about it? You
Move
know, like
on.
you have to be able to move on. Like you were saying, life is fluid. There's lots of ups and downs. And so,
It's so true.
yeah. So, well, I guess my last question last time was chips and guacamole, but obviously, like,
Neither.
you're just going guacamole with like carrot sticks now, not chips. Yeah, neither.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess I could do the carrot sticks.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait. Back to my first question.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
dinner tonight, whatever you're making, Mary from yesterday versus Mary today. Is that like before you would eat your whole plate, or would you? And now tonight you're gonna like, is it a portion thing?
No, for me, it's not even a portion thing. I'm only going to even give myself what I can eat
Gotcha.
for right now because again, like my whole objective is to lose weight. I have like 40 pounds to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't like a little like, oh, I need to drop 5 pounds. Everyone can drop 5 pounds in a
Yeah.
couple days, but like I want to lose 40 pounds. So I got to set my sights here and really have my meals planned out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am doing I'll have some, protein shakes will be in there. Like, again, this is all about my calorie count for the day.
Yeah.
And once I hit my calorie count, but I planned it out. So it's not like once I hit my calorie count at 10 a.m., I'm not eating anymore. But so no, so it's not going to be, I mean, I'm not ready to go to portion control because
Yeah.
I'm not allowing myself that. It's too wishy-washy for me. I can't do the
Gotcha.
guesswork while I'm
Gotcha.
in this.
Okay.
You know?
You need something more predictable.
Right now, I just need like, this is what I'm eating. Boom, boom, boom.
And are you
boom,
using
boom.
like MyFitnessPal or how are you tracking?
Yeah, I'm tracking all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right this second, in these first couple weeks that I've already mapped out my food. I don't even like, I put it in beforehand.
Yeah.
Because I'm not deviating from the schedule yet.
Gotcha.
You know, like I'm not. We have an event tomorrow night. Like I'm gonna eat before. I'm just not eating at that event because I can't. That's my weakness.
Yes.
That's
social.
that's my gateway.
Yeah.
To like the next. So
Try this charcuterie board I made, Mary. Come on over.
Totally. So
Yeah.
it's just I have to be really. I just know my personality. I have to be really strict at the beginning to like get over that hump.
Yeah.
You get me to 15 pounds, and then it can be like, okay, well now I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I can start.
Well, you get excited.
Yeah.
You want to keep going. I know you and you're a pusher. And that's why I knew if I said, we'll see you tomorrow morning, you're going to go. Like, you're not going to let anybody tell you that you can't.
Even myself.
Or that you're not doing it. Yes, exactly. And so I think that is a great approach. And again, goes back to what you're saying. Everybody's different and do what works for you and take what you want and leave the rest. I personally am going into, I want to know a little bit more about like hormones and as we get older and the hormone, because I very much believe I'm starting perimenopause. I'm already starting to have some hot flashes. I had a hot flash the other night, girl. I don't know if you've ever had a true hot flash. I am in bed and we're watching murder, 100% murder mystery show of something, right? And all of a sudden my internal core is on fire out of nowhere.
Like from like the
inside
out
of the insides of my body. And I hop out of bed and I'm like, oh my God, I am so hot.
So, okay, but not like, oh, my sheets were on really tight.
No, girl, this was different. I wasn't sweaty. I wasn't, like it wasn't like that. I just felt an internal heat, but it was 1-2 and it was there. It was so quick. And I got up, stripped off all my clothes. And I'm sure Matt was like, yeah, like
you're
what?
like, no.
He was either looking at me like, what is she doing? And I was like, I'm so hot. I think I'm having a hot flash right now. And I like stand up and start almost pacing a little bit. And then I like lay back in bed and I relax. And of course I'm like, get these fucking blankets off me. And I'm drinking water. 2 minutes later, I'm freezing cold.
Well, yeah, you took all your clothes
Put the blankets back on, put my clothes, like a t-shirt on. I'll like kick a leg out, just this internal deep hot flash out of nowhere. And I just looked at Matt and I was laughing. I was like, oh my God, I'm a psycho. Here we are at 40, almost 42 years old. And I haven't had one since, knock on wood. But so I want to know a little bit more about like hormones and,
it's a big topic right now.
Yeah. And I'm just experiencing it as well. And a little personal, my doctor wants me to get a hysterectomy. So there's other things going on in this body. But I want to know about like your blood sugar and hormones and just female, and I want to know about the synapses and how it all works.
Hormone replacement if you get a hysterectomy.
If you remove your ovaries.
Oh, are you not doing
I'm not removing the ovaries. So I would just do my uterus and my the other fallopian tubes, uterus and your cervix.
Okay.
Yeah. Which also, by the way, my doctor told me lessens your chance of it completely takes away any chance of any uterus cancer or cervical cancer. And you don't have to have your screenings anymore.
Oh.
So hello. Oh, I know. I don't. Oh, the standard of care should just be when you're done having babies,
just take everything.
Just take it all out.
Just why? What other organs can you take out that can lessen my chances of cancer? Because I feel like everyone's just getting really hit hard right now.
Oh my God!
What can I take out
Seriously, and that's exactly what I said to the doctor. I said, "Why is this not the standard of care?
Pinky, do we need? What do you want to take
Yeah,
off?
and he was like, I don't know why it's not.
Yeah,
and of course in my mind I'm like, well, I'll tell you why it's not. But
I did. Funny, that was an option when I had my 4th C-section, but I was bizarrely scared. Like when you're like having a baby, the last thing you're wanting to like figure out is how you're going to never have a baby again. And I
Yeah.
was never going to have a baby again, but it's
Yeah.
just a weird.
It's too final. They asked
Yeah.
me the same thing, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a little too final."
Yeah. And I'm like in the moment right now. So
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going to happen when this one comes
You're
out.
like, "I am on morphine. You cannot ask me this
Yeah, I didn't
question
get
right
morphine.
now."
Did you get morphine?
Well, when they gave me that like spinal tap
Yeah.
thing, and there's morphine in it because I had an allergic reaction. That's the only way.
Did you?
Yeah,
I didn't know that was.
I itched my whole face off. I just got super
Oh,
itchy
girl.
and agitated.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't do good like with any opiates like that, especially a strong one in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
No.
yeah.
Well, I'm having a nutritionist on the show, a board certified
fun.
nutritionist next week. So I'm going to hit her for all the things.
I
So,
love it.
Yeah. Write down your question.
Keep it simple for me, though. I mean, I got to go.
Oh,
I need
girl, I'm
simple
going to dumb
steps.
everything down. You know me. I like to water things down and not,
Yeah.
you
Keep
need
it
to
simple
speak
for
in
me.
my language for sure. So, no.
I love it.
But it'll definitely be part of the solution, 'cause
Sweet.
we're all on this journey together. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming, Mary.
Thanks for having
This was
me.
so great. It's always a pleasure to
And
hang
by the
out with
way,
you.
completely different conversation than we had last week.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had all these halfway through this. I was like, I don't even have my question. Like, I don't even have any of that. And clearly with you, I don't need them. Like it's just shooting the shit
Yeah.
in a way,
Okay.
Well, and we speak a lot of the same language.
Yeah, we
So
do.
it's kind of easy. So anyways, girl,
Thank
thank
you, dear.
you. Thanks for being part of the solution. Thanks, guys.